This is what happens when you sit on a yoga block.
Hey guys, I'm Lisa, in case you didn't know, and I'm the founder of Lisa Study Guides. We empower students to take control of your learning through study guides and our private tutoring. So normally we'll cover English related topics and VCE related topics as well. So we've previously done everything you need to know in VCE and how does scaling work. Today though, I wanted to talk about the coronavirus, a topic of discussion that is rife amongst students like yourselves, Australians, and just everyone across the world. Specifically, I want to talk about how corona is going to affect you, your studies, and especially if you're in VCE, how it will impact your year. The coronavirus, or its scientific name, COVID-19, has just over the past few days been announced a pandemic by the World Health Organization, meaning that it's a disease that has spread to multiple countries around the world. Because the coronavirus is easily spread from person to person,
Dad, this came for you in the mail.
large gatherings like festivals and sports games have been cancelled, travel bans are in place, and funnily enough, toilet paper has become the star of the show. A lot of people actually just get the sense that contracting the coronavirus is inevitable. I'm one of those people too. So what's VCA, the governing VC body, doing about all of this? On their website they say, the VCA is looking at ways it can support schools to meet the challenges of COVID-19 and ensure continuity of learning and delivery of assessment to students. In particular, those completing one or more VC Unit 3-4 and or VC Vet Unit 3-4 sequence in 2020. This means that while things will change, VC is still going to continue forward. So I'm sorry to any of you out there who were hoping that VC would be cancelled. Unfortunately, that won't be the case. So what are these changes though? Your school has probably already talked to you about changing your school routine. Many schools are now discussing how long they should send their students home from school for. And the Federal Education Minister, Dan Tehan, warned Australians last Thursday that the government could enforce primary and high school students to extend their Easter school holidays. So that, depending on who you are, could be a yay. Let's talk now about the coronavirus and its impact on your VCE scores. If a school has students self-isolating at home or makes the decision to close for an extended period due to COVID-19, schools will make alternative arrangements to ensure your continuity of learning. This might include using online software to conduct your classes, sending teaching materials via email or your online learning portal, or directing you to use study guides as the basis of your own independent learning.
While it may seem anti-intuitive, there is very good reasons why you would not be moving to broad-scale closures of schools. That could actually make the situation worse, not better.
But what about SACs? Each school is different in how they plan to tackle SACs. Reschedule your upcoming SAC to a later date, extend your SAC length so to give you extra time to complete your assessment, or change other rules of your SAC. For example, maybe changing it from a closed book SAC to an open book SAC. Each school will create its own rules dependent on how they're managing this COVID-19 period of time. So make sure you keep your ears peeled as information rolls out from your teachers. Bear in mind though that VCA has recommended that SACs should be completed mainly in class and within a limited time frame. So if you're hoping to casually just do the SAC from home in your PJs, it's probably unlikely. Next, and this is a question that's been asked a lot, will I get a derived examination score? The answer is we don't know yet. Closer to the 2020 examination period, which is at the end of the year, VCA will determine whether a derived examination score might be appropriate and for what circumstances they'll be approved. If this does happen, then VCA will compare your performance across all the SACs you've done throughout the entire year. This will be corona affected SACs and non-corona affected SACs. if I can coin such a term. This is why it's important that you continue to do the very best that you can, no matter what changes have happened. This is something that you probably should be doing anyway if you're in year 12 since the start of the year. This leads me to my final point. How are you going to tackle this period of change? The most important thing, as I mentioned earlier, is to try to continue your studies as usual. While it might be tempting to chill at home watching Netflix, oh god, why do shows like Love is Blind that add no value to my life just consume an entire day on my weekends? Just remember that VCE end of year exams is waiting for you at the end of all of this. So it's best that you put yourself in the best position you can. Of course, studying at home can be a struggle sometimes, so don't be afraid to try to implement new study habits that might make things easier, like asking your parents for quiet hours during the day. A lot of people are getting asked to work from home now, so that might include people in your family as well. Joining your friends on an online call to discuss your English text, for example. Or getting your hands on additional materials like study guides on online courses that can help you catch up with what you might miss in school. You can be super creative with all this. And it's a way to turn what can be a bit of a scary period into something that at the end of the year, you look back and say, hey, I did really well during that period. I really made things work for me. At Lisa Study Guides, we've responded to COVID-19 by working harder than ever. Sounds so weird. We've published 6 study guides now, and we're on the way to helping many more students just like you. Tutoring is continued as normal, but we've asked families and tutors to take precautions, as you should. Like if you're feeling unwell, to request online tutoring rather than a face-to-face session. With so many students opting for online tutoring in 2020 anyways, we've found that people are getting increasingly receptive to this idea, especially now that we have tech that makes online tutoring as seamless as it is in person. So there you have it for the coronavirus. I know that I've sort of just packed everything up for you, so let me know if you've got any follow-on questions. I'm more than happy to answer them for you, but I'd love for you to comment down the section below. What's your school planning on doing? And how do you plan to do your studies during this time? You can read more about this on the VCA website just down in the description box below, and as more updates come along, I'm sure in the next few weeks and months, I'll be sure to make another video if there's more updates for you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Catch you later. Bye!